Hi, this is Russ at Devoted Golfer. I'm here with Victor Afable. I get it right?
You got it right.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's the first time this week
I
so
know.
far.
That might be the first time in your life.
So, Victor, I know from other shaft companies. So you moved from Las Vegas to Pinehurst. Pinehurst is like the mecca of golf.
Yeah, it's a great area, and love it there. And I think it's geographically, it's just a better place to be for us. So that's why we're there.
So a new shaft company.
New shaft company. VA Composites was started. I have a passion to design and the pursuit to design the best shafts in the world, not just for touring pros, but for all levels of amateurs, and that's going to be the strategy behind the company. My ongoing philosophy is custom fitting, and we're only going after the best dealers in the world, and
that's kind of been your history. You've done
yeah,
that in the past.
yeah.
So earlier, before we got started on this interview, you had some of your team in here.
Yeah.
So we just met your graphics guy.
Right. Graphics. Andrew has been helping me from the start of the company. He's great with graphics. Ex Nike, and really good at design. And I think we've both collaborated in coming up with our first shaft called the Rygene. And
what does Rygene mean?
It's actually the dragon, which is the cosmetic.
Here on the logo. Yeah.
Yep, that's the dragon.
Yeah.
It means dragon of thunder, and just
so I'm going to hit thunderously long drives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No less. Yeah.
So this is the first.
This
I
is
assume that there's more.
We have two more lines that are going to come up behind us, already in testing. This is the very first line, which is a very it's pretty elaborate. We have 44 grams, 54, 64, and 74 grams. We've also added hybrids, and we're adding irons in the two weights, 74 and 84 in the irons.
I haven't seen the hybrids yet, but I have seen these.
Right.
And the eye profile it's what I would call neutral in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't have any fancy bumps or twists or turns in it. It just runs up and then goes stiff into the butt.
Yeah. The 40 series and the 50 series.
They're a little different.
They're a little different.
Yeah.
I have a tendency, my history is to design those shafts to really fit the type of player that's going to play a 40 and a 50 gram shaft.
Right.
Which is, we want to achieve a little bit higher launch and maybe a little bit more spin to keep the ball in the air. And then when you get into the 60 and the 70 gram shafts, it's more of a mid to high launch, and actually more mid launch.
Right.
The torque's lower; it's down closer to 3 degrees, and it's low spin. We've done extensive testing already on the European Tour and the PGA Tour. We've got a couple guys on the European Tour already playing it.
So you've got it in play already.
We had it in play. I brought in 10 samples. The very first 10. Sent 5 out to the European Tour, and we got 2 in play right away. So that's pretty good. It almost won the tournament.
Oh, really?
Turned on the TV, the guy was leading, shot 65 the first day, ended up finishing tied 30, but 2 tournaments later he finished tied third. So it's good.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt.
Tour validation is important in this business.
It gives you credibility, and again, it validates your product.
Yeah. Let me ask you a little different question here, going a little off topic. This little logo right there.
Sure.
Yeah. What does that mean?
That's actually a Japanese certification.
Like ISO.
Yeah, it's very similar to ISO. and you have to. Your factory has to have that certification in order to use that logo, and it just.
So that means you can sell the shaft in Japan.
It doesn't mean you can sell the shaft in Japan. It just means that it's certified by Japanese standards.
Okay.
Like an ISO, like a Japanese ISO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that means that
So you could have a factory in a different country, and if they have that certification, they could actually use that logo.
Okay. Yeah, I've you see this, you don't see it, and I
Sure.
always kind of wondered exactly what it meant, and our viewers would.
Right.
Okay, so now they know what it means.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so thanks for that.
Yeah.
You brought along another shaft that I haven't seen yet. What are we looking at here?
This is obviously not the structure, but it's an iron shaft. This was one of the very first. It's actually one of only two. This is how we look at the cosmetics and review the cosmetics and make tweaks and do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, this is what it's going to look like.
Okay.
It's an IP finish, ion plating finish.
Right.
With a black fade and once again the logo and the dragon. So I think
so we're going to have an iron shaft here in the not too distant future.
Yep. We'll have iron shafts in mid-February.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So tell me about your passion for golf shafts. What would cause you to create another shaft company, as if there aren't enough of them out there already?
Sure. Yeah. It's passion. It's the passion for design. It's the passion to manufacture the best shaft in the world. Mm-hmm. To give every consumer the ability to play better, mm-hmm. for more distance, for tighter dispersion.
Those are the big terms, right?
They're the
distance
two,
and tight dispersion.
Exactly, and they're the two major terms, and that brings me to the philosophy why we have dealers and the best dealers in the world. Mm-hmm. That you can go in and you can use ball flight monitor technology to get custom fit.
Yeah. So talking about technology, you want to tell me a little about the technologies that you've employed in the shaft?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit, but it's proprietary. We use the most exotic materials. A lot of high-end 40-ton, 50-ton materials, mm-hmm. and Toray. Yeah. Toray is our major supplier,
right.
One of the best pre-preg manufacturers in Japan, mm-hmm. and it's about design and trying to hit the EI curve that you're after. Mm-hmm. That really makes a good shaft and hopefully fits a wide variety of players.
Torque numbers, where do you?
In the 60 gram and the 70 gram level weight series, the torque's down closer to 3.0. Mm-hmm. But you're
talking about butt torque.
Yeah. And then when you get to the 40 and 50 series, the 40 mm-hmm. series, there's some up there in the 5 degrees. Mm-hmm. So it does vary compared to what you're trying to do.
So when you're using high density materials, you actually have to turn the torque up a little bit, don't you?
You do.
Get a little more feel.
You do.
In the hands.
You do. And
I get this question about shaft torques coming up.
Well,
from some of my readers, and it's not that one person is doing it. Everybody that's using high density materials is turning up the torques a little bit.
Yeah, and torque is a lot about feel these days.
Yes.
A higher torque will give you obviously a different feel, mm-hmm. and probably a little bit different, a little bit better feel. Mm-hmm. I've always designed shafts to be in around the 3.4 range, 3.5, mm-hmm. and some of the more stiffer bend profiles will go down into that 2.8, 2.9 range. Yes. And tour professionals, a lot of the majority tend to not like it too high, and so that's one category that we need to satisfy are the better players, and we want to be known for a better player shaft. And we play in the premium space. This is a $380 shaft.
Okay.
So we're playing in the premium space, and We will have shafts. The next 2 lines that come out will be more the mid twos.
Yeah,
And
what's the timing on those?
those one shaft line will be out in probably late February, and then the other one will follow up probably in March.
So by the time we hit the major season, we're going to have 3 different profiles
Exactly.
from you, which fills out the fitting system.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we already have probably 60 dealers online worldwide, throughout Asia, throughout Europe and UK, and a good number in the U.S. already.
So, Victor, good luck with the new
Thank
shaft
you.
company.
Thank you. I appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
and-
Thanks for having me.
And as you get those other 2 designs finished, get them over to me.
Great.
When am I going to be seeing iron shafts?
You'll be seeing iron shafts in mid-February.
Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep.
you're going to have it all here before spring.
Right.
Yeah, or in the
Yep.
spring.
You can follow it all on the website and see what's going on.
Okay, so Russ for Devoted Golfer TV with Victor, and it's called VA Composites. And we're looking forward to another line of premium shafts. Stay tuned, and you'll see the rest of Victor's line coming before spring,
That's it.
or in spring.
That's it.
Okay, thanks
Perfect.
very much, Victor.
Thank you. I appreciate it.